What's up, everybody? Welcome to Off the Record. I'm your host, RJ Starcevic, and I'm pleased to be joined today from Watkins Glen, live in the flesh, Jeremy Clements. How you doing, man? How's Watkins Glen? I know you said you were on Sirius this morning. You've been doing some stuff there, going through tech right now, but how's it going?
That's going great, man. Thanks for having me on your show. Been a busy morning already. We did some hiking at the state park a few miles away, and going through tech now. Did XM interviews, so just hanging out with you now, man. You got me. So you're all that's left for me at the moment, and then I get to go out there and see if the guys made it through tech yet or not.
Yeah, exactly. And so Watkins Glen, a place I know you've been to a handful of times. Road course. You got how many races exact do we have until the Xfinity Series playoffs? Like 3 or 4?
Till there, I don't really know, to be honest. I think Bristol is our cutoff.
Yeah.
For Xfinity Series, and so what is that? A few more. I don't know right off the top of my head. I have to look.
Yeah, got about five more. So 5 more races from here on out.
We're gonna have to pull one. We're gonna have to pull one out of our, to make the playoffs. That's been the best year we were hoping for, unfortunately, and that's just the way it goes. In racing, it's just part of it. Last year, we made the playoffs some points, which was awesome, but this year we're definitely not. And you never know. We got a few races left that we can make something happen and get to victory lane, but we're going to keep fighting hard and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, Victory Lane's a place you guys have been in before on a road course, and it feels like in NASCAR lately, these road course races have just been absolute craziness, wild cards. I feel like more so in the Cup Series than the Xfinity Series. We've seen just absolute chaos. I feel like the Xfinity Series has been 10 times tamer, at least for the wins of these races, than the Cup Series. I know a lot of stuff goes on in the middle of the pack in the Xfinity Series, but Watkins Glen this weekend, I mean, how optimistic are you that you guys can just put together a solid run? For you, the season you guys have had, are you more focused on all right, are you thinking playoffs, let's see what we can do here, wild card, get a win, or are you kind of just all right, let's get back on the right track here, let's get a solid finish, a solid run?
Well, we definitely want to have a solid finish, and I think we can do that here for sure. But this is a fast road course. You got to have a fast car.
Yeah.
Usually you can out hustle a lot of the cars, outbreak them, and drive it harder than other guys and make up a lot of positions. But here, pretty tough to do. There's not really hard braking zones here like you would see at the other road courses. So yeah. I don't know. I'm just hoping we brought a fast enough Kevin Whitaker pink Chevrolet. It's throwback to Earnhardt's first race car, the K2, and that's pretty damn cool to me. And racing a throwback to him is always special. We did that earlier in the year too at Darlington, and that car won best appearing there for the weekend, and we won an award. So that was really cool. But you just never know. There's a lot of good cars here. The field is super stacked, and like I said, just hoping we brought some speed because I'm gonna hustle the hell out of her, but I don't know what we got. We're a small team. It's always hard to keep up with the big teams. They bring pretty fast cars.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to talk about that paint scheme for a second. I think that's really cool. I saw it for the first time a few days ago. I couldn't remember when you guys had officially put it out, but I mean, the scheme's awesome. How did all that come together?
Yeah, so I mean, basically the way I work with my partners, I go to them and say, hey, what you thinking for your scheme? And, I got with the gang from Kevin Whitaker Chevy in Greenville, South Carolina. And they're like, hey, we want to do this scheme. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So it was, it's my first primary pink race car. I mean, I've had pink on my car before, but never the whole thing. And that's really cool. And it's different and it stands out. It's bright. It's colorful. The ladies love it.
Yeah.
And hey, it's going to be offered as a die cast. So get that. Make sure you pre-order it now from Circle B Diecast. So it will get made because they have to reach a certain number of pre-orders for that to happen. But supposedly the way the story goes, his first race car, he got it from his neighbors, and they mixed up some paint in 1970. It came out this color. They couldn't afford to repaint it, so they stuck with it.
Yeah.
So that's just a really cool story right there. And I didn't really know this, so I learned some history and getting to run a pink car. Throwback to the Intimidator, which is the greatest, if not one of the greatest, if not the greatest driver in our sports history.
For sure. And you talk about sponsors and partners. I think before the season wasn't something that came out that you guys had sold like almost the entire, at least close to like the races before the season.
Yeah, we did. Before the last race at Phoenix last year, man, we went to our partners and new partners that we had. Yeah, it really sold pretty quickly. And, you know, I got a guy, Steve Carnes from First Pacific Funding, helps me out a lot with all that. And makes my plate lighter. So it really works, and he loves it, loves helping, and he's good at it. And then, so it's been fun, and we love our partners are good friends. They come to the track, we hang out, we have fun. We might have some adult beverages after together, and it's just a lot of fun. A lot of them come to a lot of races, and that's really cool, makes it special. So I want to give them the best finish we can, and obviously the most publicity we can too, for them putting their hard-earned dollars on my race car to keep that 51 on the racetrack.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've been in the Xfinity Series and even Nationwide Series, whatever it was called at the time, for a while, and the struggles, whether it was your own team or seeing some other teams struggle with funding and stuff like that just throughout the season, race to race. So how, it had to be so relieving at the beginning of the year to be like, man, we have like the basic majority of the schedule sold for sponsorship.
Well, it definitely makes it easier when you can say you have some funding coming in. You don't have to worry about those things, Us being a lot smaller team and a lot less people, the amount it takes to do it is a lot less. It's a lot more affordable than a big team. And, we're pretty competitive. Obviously, I'm not going to be satisfied unless we're winning every weekend. So until we're at that goal, I'm never happy, really, but realistically, I want to be a top 10 team every weekend somehow, some way. And we're not there this year. The competition picked up, and man, it's been tough. We've just had a lot of bad luck though, and a lot of things happen that cost us good finishes. And hell, we should have 3 top 5s right now, which would be, I'd be pretty happy with that, and a few couple more top 10s to the 3 we have now. But things happen, and that's just the way it goes, and we got to learn from it and move on. And you got to have a short memory in this deal, and keep fighting week in, week out, and learn from, like I said, your mistakes.
Tell me about the competition a little, because I know this was something that me and a lot of Xfinity drivers, and especially Tommy Joe, who I did the drivers meeting with, and we talked about the competition a lot. I mean, there's powerhouse teams that expanded. There's teams that have kind of come into the B-level teams. There's been newer organizations. A lot of teams expanded. There's totally new organizations in the series. I mean, there's been a lot of competition in the Xfinity Series. I mean, how have you noticed the change just from last year to this year?
Yeah, I mean, you basically said it. There's more teams. They all amped up. All these teams got all these lease motors, ECR, Roush Yates, TRD, Joe Gibbs Racing, and that's what we're running against. And we're still Clements Racing engines, So we're building our own engines, and we're down on power. My guys are busting their butt to make it the best they can, for sure. But my guys build dirt late model engines full time, and when you do that and then you try to do this on the side, it's pretty hard, pretty challenging, but they do a great job. And when I say we're down, we're talking maybe, I don't know the exact horsepower at all. We don't know. I'd say 10 to 20 maybe in that range, but that's going to hurt you for sure to keep up with the big guys when you're just talking about a few tenths at each racetrack. But really proud of our effort. When we have our stuff together and we don't screw up, we're pretty fast. But we don't even have any engineering too, and that's something we're trying to look into and trying to piece together, figure out how we can get it and how much it's going to cost and things like that. So that way we can show up the racetrack. Maybe if something we're trying we won't be so lost on it if we are, because man, we can just, this year Goodyear brought a different tire than last year, so kind of coming to these racetracks, our notes just haven't worked the way they did last year, and everything's just been different. And it's a lot of the tracks it's worked, and then some tracks it just hasn't. And that's just, we don't know that till we hit the racetrack. When you only have 20 minutes to practice, and you really can't change much, but like what you do on a pit stop, it's very difficult to get back to what's going to be good if you're not.
Yeah. What team do you think, like new team, let's just say the new organizations that have kind of come into the series this year, what team do you think has stuck out to you the most?
Oh man, I mean, Junior Motorsports have been here. They're not a new team, but they've been kicking butt, man, better than ever. I mean, really, it's the best I've ever seen them. They've got a lot of speed, and used to, it was just, in my opinion, Joe Gibbs Racing and Penske. RCR was fast when Reddick was there. New teams, I don't even know right off the top of my head. I'd have to look. I can't think, but it's just all the existing teams you got. You got Junior Motorsports, super fast. Colleague with the Allmendinger's been fast a lot of places. And then you got the Joe Gibbs Powerhouse. They've been around for a long time, and their Toyotas are super fast. And then the couple Fords, Ryan Sieg, and those guys do a great job. And even the 98's gotten a lot better from last year. He's a lot more competitive than he ever has been. And then that, like this weekend, you got Hendrick. They bringing in a car. Yeah. Junior Motorsports got another car with Larson in it. So all these teams just bring more drivers and cars. It's just crazy, all the money in here that comes in. And each year that changes. You never know how it's going to be. And at the end of last year of their season, 3/4 to the end, you just heard all these rumors. You heard all these teams are coming in, the money's coming in. So it's like, oh no. I mean, I was like, let it just stay the way it is. It's tough enough, but it ramped up, but it is what it is. We're battling as hard as we can.
Crazy. I mean, I thought it was tough enough last year, and then all of a sudden all these new teams and teams start amping up going into this year. It's crazy. And I think the Xfinity road course races are just like insane. When you look up and down these entry lists, like the people, the road ringers, the cup drivers that are coming in. I mean, it's such a challenging field, isn't it? When you look at it top to bottom.
Oh my gosh, it is. It's stacked, man. This weekend's going to be super tough here at the Glen, and these guys and these fast hot rods are going to be tough to beat unless they screw up, honestly. But that is the way it is. It's racing, and we're going to give it all we got, like I keep saying, and battle hard. And you never know. We've won before, and I didn't think we had a chance. I mean, honestly, that day I didn't think we had a chance that day, and we had the speed somehow. So you just never know what you're going to load with and what you got until you're on that racetrack. And always like coming to the Glen. It's a fun track. I like to push the car to the limit here and see what we got. And we're going to get to do that here shortly.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is the last road course race until the Roval at the end of the year, right? I believe
that is right. 2 left, and this is one of them, and we only have 6. So they went by. Yeah. They went by quick, man. And there was Coda still stings. We were running third or fourth, and they got us saying short tracking the course there. I'm talking by inches. So that one still stings. And Road America, we were very fast, finished 9th, had a pit stop violation penalty on pit road, and had to start in the back the last restart, and just didn't have enough time to get up there. We had a top 5 car there, honestly. But those 2, we really had good cars, and I just hope we've got a good car this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. You've enjoyed, how do you feel your luck's been on the road courses, like the speed of the car? I mean, is there anything that you can take kind of from the road courses you've ran this season and kind of compare it to this weekend? Even though I know you did say it's a much faster track at Watkins Glen. You got to have a lot under the hood for it.
Yeah, definitely got to have a lot under the hood. The engine's got to be top notch. But, we got a different rear spring package here than the other tracks, the other road courses for sure. You don't have a lot of the tight technical corners that you do. So you're going to run different rear springs. for that. So yeah, you can take some stuff, but this is a whole different animal, man. I'm telling you. And you got to be prepared for that. And I just, like I said earlier, I don't know if the setup we brought is going to like the combination with the tires and everything. And I would just get to find that out tomorrow, see how it does. It sucks because like you'll get out there and you feel like, oh man, it's pretty good. Like I feel good. And then they call out the time and, oh, P18, you're like, golly, what the hell, P18? That sucks. You're like, feels way faster than that. But yeah, you just never know. And then sometimes you're like, oh, that wasn't any good. And they're like, that good lap. You're, top, you're 7th. And you're like, what? So I don't know. It's weird how that happens.
Exactly. You never know. All right. We'll be back here with more on Off the Record. Welcome back here on Off the Record, talking about the 22 Xfinity Series season and more, but we're going to switch gears a little bit. There's a new event coming to the Cup Series next year, and I think IMSA's going there as well. But they're turning downtown Chicago into a street course, and they're going to do some street racing in Chicago. So, Jeremy, for you as a guy that's been around the sport for a while, I know the Xfinity Series isn't heading there. At least I don't think. You never know. Maybe it's sometime they'll throw them down there. But what was your initial reaction to just like the rumors that, man, we're going to have some NASCAR racing on a street course?
Yeah, we heard of rumors for sure a couple months before they announced it, but it really kind of sucks in my opinion that we threw away Road America for next year. Man, that obviously I love Road America. It's got everything you want out of a road course, super fun, technical, fast. It's just everything you want as a driver, but I just wish there was another track we could have maybe grabbed that date from instead of Road America. And I mean, the fans showed up in droves there and the support was awesome, like it always has been there. So you hate to see that. And I really don't even know if the Xfinity Series or trucks are racing there next year. We don't have a schedule yet, so we really don't know anything. But we do know Cup is racing in Chicago, which we've never seen these cars on a street course, and there's just so many unknowns. And obviously the new car, I mean, you've heard everybody said this, the new car on the street course, who knows? But that car is definitely built more for that type of track, and whatever the hell that even is. I don't know. I know they had it on iRacing and stuff. I didn't do it. I don't know. I don't even know anything about it, the layout. I just know it's downtown Chicago on the street, which I think is really cool. I hope it works. I really do. I hope it works. Hope it puts on a great show. We just won't know until they do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. I knew they did have it on iRacing. I never got it either, but all I know about it is that downtown Chicago, I just know the streets of downtown Chicago because I grew up there. That's it. Now they're turning it into a race course, which I think is really cool. I hope everybody shows out. I hope it's a good show. I think it's, as far as I know, it's like a 3-year deal, I think. So they'll at least be there for 3 years. So we'll see. But yeah, on the flip side, we lose Road America for the Cup Series. They did announce that. And, I never got to go to Road America myself, but at least for so long, the Xfinity Series going there. And it seemed like even when the Xfinity Series was there, it was great weekends. And obviously you were there, you won there, you got to go to Victory Lane. And then when the Cup Series went there, it felt like last year was a really cool weekend, at least from when I was watching on TV. A lot of people showed up. I heard the same thing this year, and now it's gone from the Cup schedule. It's really weird how that just logistically happened. It sucks. But I mean, from you speaking, you've been going to Road America for almost a decade or over a decade. I mean, the fan response was pretty great there, wasn't it?
Oh, dude, it's one of the best that we have on the schedule. And when you ride around the track under pace laps, it's a 4-mile track and it's slam full of people. So I don't know what else you could want, but I'm not at the meetings and the things that's going on behind the scenes. So there's no telling what's going on there with any of that. We don't know. So just hate to see from the outside looking in, from a competitor standpoint, the good crowds, the great, awesome racetrack. That's what I see. And it sucks. It sucks to lose it. I don't know if we're going to lose it. We'll see. Hopefully in the next month or so, I'm hoping we get a schedule, and I hope to see Road America on it.
Yeah, I hope so too. Especially it seemed like, at least if you're going to take the Cup Series away, it was like a staple for the Xfinity Series. And hey, send the Truck Series there too. Let's have a, a 2 series weekend and do, whatever else they do. They do Trans Am. I think that weekend usually when you guys are there.
Oh
But
yeah.
also something that I was hoping, just as someone that grew up in Chicago, like, hey, what if we throw like the Xfinity Series, Truck Series on Chicagoland Speedway that weekend? Would that be something you'd be in support of?
Yeah, I mean, I always like going to Chicagoland Speedway. I mean, it's a mile and a half, but it was definitely a different mile and a half. It had a lot of character, and the track widened out a ton. We're racing from the bottom to the top. Thought it put on some good races. Its last few years, it was getting bumpy too, and that adds even better racing. And the groove was just all over the place, and that it sucked to take away a mile and a half that way, really. And I thought that was a good Midwest area to go to, So it's no good to take that away, in my opinion. I guess that's why they're like, we need to get back to Chicago for sure. That's a good market that we need to be in. And but people want to see different things. I applaud NASCAR for trying different things, thinking outside the box.
I saw something recently how it's crazy how I feel like even 3 years ago there were so many mile and a halves on the schedule, and now you look 3 years, 4 years later, however many years down the road, and we got road courses, we got street courses, we got dirt races, and it's almost like the mile and a halves are like dwindling down. It's crazy, like how interesting has it been to like see the change of the schedule the last 3 years?
Definitely has. I mean, like you said, a lot of mile and a halves are kind of getting cut. We don't need so many. We need more short tracks. We definitely got more road courses, and that's been good. And we just need a mixture. We don't need one overpowering the other, in my opinion. But these new Cup cars, I think they've definitely put on a lot better race on the mile and a halves actually, than the short tracks. From what I've seen, I don't watch every race, but from what I've seen, that's what I think. But the series I've been in, I think it puts on a damn good show every track we go to, and that's being honest, really. I mean, there's just so many good competition in here, and these cars are hard to drive, and they put on a good show. We got a good package, and I hope we don't change that too much. That
Yeah.
I feel like they like to. I feel like they like to mess with things a lot, even when it's good. So I don't know. I just hope let's just ease off of it. It's kind of like adding a lot of more ingredients that we don't need, and you never know.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm a big Xfinity Series guy. Like that's kind of my highlight of the weekend when I sit back and watch some racing. Like the Cup Series has been really exciting this year. It's been unpredictable. It's just like the Cup Series is honestly just full of like random things that happen that you can't predict, and that's what's been fun about watching the Cup Series this year. With the Xfinity Series, I love watching the racing up and throughout the field. I always just tell people, I'm like, man, if they put the Xfinity Series in a parking lot, we could still get a very interesting race. So who knows?
I like that.
Throw them in that St. Pete here because I live in Tampa and they do that St. Pete Grand Prix and they just do it in a parking lot. So I'm like, shoot, let's throw the Xfinity Series over there. They could put on one hell of a race over there. But yeah, you notice about you mentioned about change and kind of a lot of things in the Xfinity Series as far as like the car rules package have kind of been relatively the same. In recent memory, they've changed a few things here and there. But I know there's so many rumors and people are saying, oh, are they going to change the Xfinity Series to like a different series, or like, is that going to be an electric series or something like that? And I'm sitting here like, no, don't take away my Xfinity Series. I want the Xfinity Series to stay the same, like maybe not forever, but like, there's obviously, I'm sure, things that could change, but I love where the Xfinity Series were at. And I'm sure you feel the same way.
Obviously so, yeah. I mean, I've been making a living here a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else they or people want. Like, we've got a good series full of competition. We're sending cars home, putting on good races.
You can still do numbers on TV too. Yeah, just like
That's
you were about to say.
Yep. And so what I'm saying is, what are we missing? What else are we trying to do that we're not doing? We got sponsors galore, So tell me what I'm missing here. Why do we want to change it?
No idea. I
don't either.
I think it's a good series. A lot of people know about it too. Like I think I just remember that the Roval coming up, like a guy like Marco Andretti had made it known that he wants to do an Xfinity Series race, and now he's coming to race an Xfinity Series race at Charlotte Roval. You look at up and down these entry lists on the road course, and all the stars, the Cup drivers, the road ringers coming to race an Xfinity. I just think the racing's really good, and you go to tracks that a lot of people have hated on. I feel like in recent years, like I think Pocono, Michigan, and I think like last year, even New Hampshire. And I feel like the Xfinity Series has put on solid races there, at least for me watching on the television. And like, I love the Xfinity Series, so I guess I can be considered a little biased, but I really enjoy the races that they put on some tracks that a lot of people consider like boring tracks.
I agree, dude. I mean, seriously. I mean, and I would be the first to say, hey, we need to change something. It's not what we need, not what we want. We're not looking good, but hell, we're looking good. We're having great races for the most part. Every race is not going to be a great show, by the way. People need to remember this. That somebody's going to hit it, and they're going to be faster, and they're going to spoil the race sometimes. It's just the way it is. I mean, I grew up racing that. I did that sometimes, a lot of times. I mean, and it's just part of it. Somebody hits on something, the others didn't, and they're faster, and it's not the greatest race. Sorry, it's not. Every race won't be that way, but for the most part, I guarantee most have been more fun to watch than not.
And then, like we had talked about earlier in the show, the competition is probably higher than it's been in a long time as far as the big teams and then the drivers that are coming over. It's insane. And so there was a comment made by somebody, and I always remember it like every week. It was on some show. Somebody had said, I think it was like Cody Efaw. Do you know Cody Efaw?
Yeah.
The Truck Series. I don't know if you saw it, but he was on some show and he was saying how like, well, if you're a driver, he said, as for Nice Motorsports as a team, he said there was no point in moving to the Xfinity Series because he said he thinks the Truck Series is harder competition, and then he said the Xfinity Series is watered down. And I took that comment. Comment very personally because I was like watered down, like because looking at the Xfinity Series, I feel like it's the best it's ever been in a long time, and it's been a good series for years. And when he had mentioned that it was watered down, I was just very like confused by that. And as for a driver and team owner in the Xfinity Series, I kind of wanted to get your opinion on that.
I definitely don't agree with that at all. Yeah. And I mean, if he thinks it's watered down, he needs to bring a team in here and race and see how good he can do. Very, very challenging series, stacked full of great competition. So yeah, you want to talk like that, just bring it on, man.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think the rumor is that like they're trying to send Hocevar up to Cup before Truck Series, get some Cup starts and kind of just skip Xfinity. Which like me and Tommy Joe kind of had that talk right before this season because Todd Gillen went straight from the Truck Series to the Cup Series. No Xfinity starts, no Xfinity season at all, and kind of went from Trucks to Xfinity. And we were kind of in the middle on that because the Xfinity Series is a really tough series, and I think it seasons you to just be a race car driver in general. But where the Cup Series was at, it seemed like it was more like the truck package than the Xfinity package. And so we didn't look at it as a horrible move. And Todd Gillen's had a decent year. He's had some speed at some tracks where you probably wouldn't think he'd run up front. So do you think it's like, is it a necessary move in NASCAR, you think, to go from Trucks Xfinity Cup? Or do you think it could be a truck to Cup or an Xfinity to Cup, like from ARCA or late model short tracks or anything like that? Is there a given straight path, or do you think it can kind of just be however you choose, however it lines up?
I don't think there's any necessary path you have to take. I mean, all these series are great series. I mean, you definitely need to go from ARCA to something. You can't just go to ARCA to Cup. I know that's a fact for sure. You need to get a lot of experience before you go to Cup, but whether it's truck or Xfinity, either one's going to be good, but the truck package is so much different than our package. They got tons of downforce. They're wide open on most of these tracks, the bigger tracks. Obviously, I'm not talking about a short track or a road course, but our cars have a lot less downforce and they don't drive as good for sure. So I kind of think I like that. I like being off the gas, trying to control the car with your talent, the brakes and everything, not just wide open. And that's, the car has to have speed, and that's kind of where we suffer more. But trucks are more that way. So the bigger teams are going to go faster for sure. But you said what's his name? Todd Gillen there. You said he's done good. Some I really just I just haven't paid attention, to be honest. But I mean, that's a tough road for sure. So him being a rookie going with a new car, there's a lot of stacked up against him there. Yeah. And but you said he's done pretty good. I don't know, but I don't think there's no clear cut path, but you need truck or Xfinity 1, and then getting your foot in the cup door is super hard. I mean, I still haven't had a cup start, which I've had opportunities just with lesser teams, and I just didn't take them because I didn't want to ride around, 35th, to be honest. And I'm more of a competitor than that. I don't want to do that. That's no fun to me. Just to make a paycheck, but I want to be competitive. So that's why you haven't seen me over there. And I still want to go over there one day, but it takes a lot of funding behind you to be there for sure. And you got to have these new cars too. You got to have some experience and know somehow as well.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. We'll be back to wrap up with some more here on Off the Record. And welcome back here on Off the Record. We're going to wrap up just kind of previewing the rest of the Xfinity Series regular season. We got 5 races left, including Watkins Glen. And then once we hit Daytona, we'll be down to 4. So we'll start with Daytona coming up in a few weeks here. I know I was there in February. I'll be there again in a few weeks. So I'll probably get to talk to you about it the weekend of. But I think the most craziest Xfinity or craziest qualifying session I'd ever witnessed was the one opening week at Daytona. I thought it was just the speeds were everywhere, teams up and down the board. It was crazy. You had powerhouse teams that were qualifying 37th. And I think you were one of the teams that didn't have the qualifying run you would have hoped for at Daytona last time, right?
No, unfortunately, we don't have the greatest qualifying speed at these plate tracks.
We're more focused on the race.
Yeah, honestly, yes. I mean, we're definitely not going to get the pole, and that we don't want to qualify bad at all, but we just don't put much emphasis into that and go for what we think will drive good in the race in a pack of cars, and that definitely affects your speed. But yeah, I don't see us qualifying good next week, to be honest, either. Daytona, and it's going to be another stacked field, and we should be okay there. But once you're in a race, it's just a totally different ball game, man. That you don't have to have the fastest car. Obviously, it does for sure help. And if you can get up there, you got a fast car, it's way easier to stay, and people work with you and push you and all that kind of stuff. But you don't necessarily have to have the fastest. So looking forward to, Daytona's a wild card. We all know that. This weekend at Watkins Glen is a fun road course for us. And then we go to Daytona, unpredictable chaos, carnage, got to survive type race. And then we go to one of my favorites, man, Darlington. Too Tough to Tame, the Lady in Black. That's a badass track. That's a driver's track. A lot of fun, slipping and sliding right at the wall. And that's one of my favorite tracks. And then we go to Kansas, a fast 1.5 miles. Got to have good car, good speed, good handling. And then we go to Bristol, the 1/2 mile. And that's another. Bristol and Darlington are my favorites. And so this is a great stretch. The Xfinity Series didn't race at Bristol earlier in the year, and that really hurts. I love Bristol, and I hate that we don't get to race there but once now a year. I wish we could fix that, man. I hate it. Let's not put dirt on Bristol. Let's just keep it the way it is.
I agree.
It's a great track. We had the best races there last year in the fall when we all raced there, and every race was an amazing event. And I just don't think it needs dirt on it. I think, and I'm a dirt guy. I grew up racing dirt, so don't be mad at me because I said that. I'm saying let's go to a real dirt track instead of putting dirt on a good racetrack that we have.
Exactly. I thought the same way. Bristol is just a one of a kind racetrack, and the racing there, it just makes me more and more excited for the weekend coming up here in about a month when everybody goes to Bristol again. But on the actual surface that Bristol is, I thought the Xfinity Series race last year was insane. It was incredible. It was a really good race. I mean, the finish is what everyone's going to remember when the two guys fighting for the win crash across the line. And then it ends up, where did you finish and all that? Remember?
I think I finished 13th. We were just tight all night. I remember that, man. And we battled hard, but just too tight. Could never get it to turn like I needed. But I love Bristol.
When you drive up there and then you just, is your spotter telling you the leaders just wrecked each other and there's a big pile up in turn one?
It was crazy, and that was kind of the checkered flag. And I was like, oh man, being a small team, you don't want to crash these race cars.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, we kept a clean car the whole race. Surely, he's like, they're crashing off of or at the finish line. I just thought, oh no, like, let's not crash this car coming to the checkered flag, please. I mean, it's just too expensive to fix these things. So I was like, we got to stay clean, and I can't believe we're going to crash all to hell in the last corner, but it can happen. Luckily, we stay clear of that one though.
Yeah, my goodness. Yeah, that finish just from watching on TV was absolute insanity. I mean, it was because it was a 2 to go restart, I think, too. And so that added to the craziness. But man, just it was a great race. And I'm sure it's going to be another great one. It's another Friday night, 7:30 p.m. race, Xfinity Series.
Oh,
Bristol.
dude.
I can't wait. I mean, that's just setting the stage right there.
It's going to be awesome. I'm licking my chops to get to Bristol. It's, like I said, it's one of my favorites. Short track when I grew up racing, high bank. That's what I love. And I hope the trucks, they race. I don't even know what night they race. They race Thursday night.
I think it's Thursday. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Thursday night. I think that's usually the doubleheader with ARCA. They'll do like 2 races Thursday night, Xfinity Friday night, Cup Sunday.
I hope they race and they put a lot of rubber up top. We have multiple grooves there. I think that's when we can go up top and race. I love that, and I think it helps our package, our engine, my engine. When I can keep the RPMs up in my engine, that's when that baby loves to get after it, and that's when it goes the best. And that versus just being on the bottom. So hopefully that's what happens.
Yeah, so I'm curious. That's something that I've thought of over the years as they kept applying like traction compound to the bottom. And I know a lot of people were kind of like somewhat in support of that, like, oh, we want the old Bristol bottom line racing, like bump and runs. But me personally, like, I love when you can use any lane. I feel like that's the best Bristol race.
Yeah,
people are running up at the top. Me, when I'm
just
driving on iRacing, I love ripping the top and then kind of coming down, like running that little arc off the corner.
So fun.
But like, are you someone like kind of you just mentioned? You're someone that's a fan of the multiple grooves, right? And being able to run everywhere. Dude,
yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm a driver, so I love multiple opportunities to pass guys. I don't want to be stuck on the bottom, and I'm not a dirty driver. I don't like to run through people, and that's kind of what you're gonna have to do when it's on the bottom. You gotta, because it gets frustrating. You get a little run on them. Then you put your nose up to their bumper and their left rear quarter, and you're just not there. And they cut you off, and you repeat, and then you get mad, you get frustrated, and then you just give them the bumper, and then that guy gets mad at you, and he'll get you back. And I mean, yeah, I guess that's fun to watch when people lose their tempers and things happen. But I like to have other opportunities to pass people. Make it up top and make that work. And guys good on the bottom, go on the top. You got options.
Yeah, I think it's just people kind of looking at the finishes from like previous years where like there's 2 cars running the bottom and then one gets moved out of the way and then boom, that's the finish. I mean, I just like enjoying watching lap 1 to 300, 400, 500, how much it is. Like, I feel like when it's multiple grooves, it's really fun to watch. And at least when I'm like, that's like one of the few tracks that I'll race on iRacing here and there. And I just love like going up to the top and arcing at bottom, or if they're running the top, I'll like try to use the middle, try to get under them, or even if I have to go to the bottom, you got to go to the bottom. But I think that's just a really cool dynamic of Bristol. Even when they put like the traction compound at the bottom or the resin, whatever they're doing, I don't know if they're still doing that this year. I can't even remember if they did it last year, but like even after like 100 or so laps, it kind of just wears out, and eventually the top starts to come in, usually is what I notice.
Yeah, for sure. And then obviously with the trucks being there, if they don't reapply it, it's going to be wore off even quicker. When we used to go there and the trucks didn't race the first race, it stayed a lot longer. But then we go there and they don't reapply it. Like I said, it goes away quick. And then you got to hunt for other options. Somebody's got to go up there and put some rubber down, though. It takes a while to get it to come in and make it work.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So we got though we did the rundown of the tracks remaining in the regular season. We got Watkins Glen, Daytona, Darlington, Kansas, Bristol. Those 5
That's right.
we're looking forward to most.
Oh, like I said, man, looking forward to the Glen first and foremost. That's where we're at right now. And then from there, I'm looking forward to the Lady in Black, dancing with her. And then on to Bristol. That's my those are my 3 I'm really looking forward to that I think this JCR 51 Chevy can do the best at.
For sure. And then when the playoffs begin, whether you guys can pull off a great miracle, which is totally possible or not, you start the playoffs, which I think is now usually about 7 races for the Xfinity Series. Still got some good tracks in there, some crazy tracks. You go to Homestead at the end of the year. I think that's cool. It feels like we haven't been to Homestead forever, but it's because it got moved from last year, March, and then this year in October. So it's like almost been 2 years since we've been to Homestead. And as a guy that goes there every year, it's been weird, but I'll be back there, which will be nice. But
sweet
Saturday midday race. Looks like you guys race there 4:30. But yeah, even if you don't make the playoffs, you'll take those final 7 races still kind of just doing the same thing, same routine. All right, let's maximize the day the best we can.
Oh, definitely, dude. We gotta keep building our program, keep getting better and better, build our notebook, and hopefully not a lot changes, but hey, we just never know. We don't get to decide that, and if things do change, then you basically throw that notebook away, and hopefully that doesn't happen. But we're gonna give it all we got. I love racing. It's a great, fun challenge, and blessed to be able to be here and do it. And I want to make the most of it.
Exactly. All right. So can't wait to watch the remainder of the Xfinity Series regular season and the playoffs. The rest of the Xfinity Series season is going to be awesome. So thank you so much to Jeremy Clements for joining me today on Off the Record, and we will see you all next week.